Here we go, uploaded and coming at you once again. It's episode number 106 here on Horse Race Bets, and we have about 2 more days on the road as we're in a hotel room still before we get to finally go back home and wrap up this summer baseball trip. Having a great time. Son's doing a great job. Team's doing very well. All right, here we go. We've got to get down to the business of doing what we do, and that's getting this money. Great racing coming up this weekend, Saturday and Friday. And then we have a great play of the day selection for today, this Wednesday. Let's get down to business, as it's a really, really nice graded stakes event coming up on Friday at Saratoga. It's the Grade 3 Coronation Cup. 5.5 furlongs on turf, 7 runners in the field. Look at here. Look at here. Okay, so what you have here is a couple of horses that are really fast, and we'll see if they want a challenge. The one, Make Haste to the Inside, the 3, Chloe. Really, really, really fast runners. And I think they're both going to try to utilize what they have, their natural speed, and get out there. And when they do that, well, obviously one of the two will most likely stick around, but I think it's going to set up for a runner to come from off the pace. And that runner that I like quite a bit is Gata Brazil. And Gata Brazil will get Manny Franco in the irons for Brittany Russell. Does a really good job training, especially horses sprinting on the turf. And the what I like about this runner is obviously the performance, going 5.5 furlongs. You see they did last time out, closing. And I think that's what they're going to have to do on this particular day. And then I also like coming back after that with a really solid bullet workout to indicate that Gata Brazil is ready to go. So everything we need is here. First off, we know that the horse has no problem with the distance, and this level of competition, in my opinion, is right there. Has the right running style, right? Should get the perfect setup, is training and in good form, and our favorite, we get value. 6-1 morning line on Gata Brazil. We'll take that all day long. And hopefully we get the proper setup with our speed horses on the front. All right, that's happening Friday at Saratoga. But I do want to go to Saturday at Gulfstream Park. There's a really nice race. So here's a couple things that you know I love. I absolutely love anything on turf. 5.5, mile, I don't give a damn, mile and a 16, mile and a half, 2 miles. Give it to me on the turf course. Love it all. But on the main track, the only thing that I like is a 7 furlong sprint. Everything else to me is just generic, but 7 furlongs is special. And so in this race, we have a lot of interesting runners. It's a field of 7, set to go 7 furlongs on the dirt. The Aelia Stakes is race number 10 on the card, Saturday at Gulfstream. And you've got some runners, like we know the 3 Andrea wants to go. And I also really believe that the 6 Fede wants to go. And Anna's Promise, I think, wants to push a little bit as well. I only need 2 of them to push, but I think I'll get 3. And what that does is it sets it up for a runner that I believe, let me say, kind of figured it out last time. And now another chance to continue to learn for Love You Morgan. Love You Morgan will be the number 1 runner in here. And last time out, winning that game face was really impressive. So the thing about that I like, so you see the 6 furlong debut. That's standard, right? You go out 6 furlongs, you do what you do. Then they immediately, Safi Joseph stretches this runner out to a mile and a 16, and boom, it made sense for this runner. So then what he ends up doing, and I believe that this is going to result in 7 furlongs, hitting this runner right between the eyes. Because at 6.5, did a great job coming back off the layoff. And in that race, I want you to go back and watch it. You know, they were already 4 wide, but then when they come into the stretch, the 2 leaders float out. So now Love You Morgan has to go basically 8 wide, 8 or 10 wide in the turn. It's crazy. And just rolls right past the 2 speed horses. I think now the 6.5 was great. You can see the horse wants to go further. So I think 7 is going to be perfect for Love You Morgan, and they will get the setup. The only question is, will Edgard Zayas have to go 8, 9, 10 wide again in the stretch? I hope not. And hopefully he, this could be a filly that doesn't want to be down on the inside, so we'll find that out. But I think if they get the right trip, they don't have to go 10 wide. I think this is going to be perfect for Love You Morgan, and I think they'll get value. Not quite sure what those odds will be, but I think it's going to be worth it for sure. There it is, your pick, race number 10 at Gulfstream Park on Saturday. It will be the one, Love You Morgan, in the Azealia Stakes. So that's the Coronation Cup and the Azealia Stakes coming up this weekend. Coronation there at Saratoga and the Azealia there at Gulfstream Park. All right, That's coming your way. Let's see what happens here on Wednesday today. Got to get this money. Yesterday's play of the day at Parks, we got Paco'd. You can get a good Paco or a bad Paco. The Paco that we got was, for some strange reason, he thought that a horse that had speed routing going a distance of a mile, now going 7 furlongs, he thought this horse was going to be able to roll past them as a closer. He was last early on. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? No, not last. He was like 4th early on. And then he finally got into it, and the horse didn't have anything really to offer in the stretch. So we keep it moving. I think we have a much better pick here today. And we're going to leave the main track and go where we love. We go to the turf course. Let's go to Canterbury. The races at Canterbury, when they get good weather, which is what they're getting right now, fantastic on the turf. Just absolutely fantastic and so competitive. And it's really hard, like, to find a horse that you like. But I think I found one that I like quite a bit. I'm just hoping that we can get the value that we want, right? So what we have is a runner that's about 6-1 on the morning line. This runner is named Jakcasta. And Jakcasta is the number 4 horse in the race. And we're getting value for sure. And the thing about this is this horse needed that last race. Hadn't raced in a little while. Came back off the layoff. And not a bad performance at all. Really didn't have much to run into. I think it's a better setup today. Now gets the second off the layoff fitness. And, man, Alonso Quinones is a really good rider. And I just remember seeing him riding at other tracks and came out to Southern California for a minute. And I just thought that the dude really, really makes a difference. So, and the way he rides that turf course there at Canterbury Park is also very impressive. So I think that the 4 Jakcasta is definitely value. I'm worried we might get bet down a little bit from that morning line. And so that's a bit of a concern for me, as your morning line odds on this runner represent really an overlay, in my opinion, at 5-1. Because if you go back and look at the way this horse is running against what I think is better competition, right, at the fairgrounds for sure, and now this horse is able to kind of make this return trip and come back to Canterbury, right, where he kind of started his career, did some things early on. The horse is just a consistent runner. And I think those performances at the fairgrounds and then coming back to Canterbury, second off the layoff, Alonso Quinones retains the mount. I think it's just all thumbs up there. Everybody, all thumbs up in that race. So we look to get the money and get back into it here on this Wednesday, especially with race number 4 at Canterbury Park. That'll be later on. All right? That's how we're doing it here on this Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with us in the meantime, in between time, and until next time, we'll see you right here on Horse Race Bets. We are all about getting this money. Well, actually, now I'm all about getting out of this hotel room and getting back home. But we still got one more day of baseball. One more day. All right. So we'll get out of here, and we'll see you next time. Let's get this money today, and, of course, get set for what's coming up on Thursday, as they'll get back into live action at Saratoga. And, of course, we'll keep it moving from there. Good luck and enjoy whatever you're into.